There we go. That should do it. Sorry, guys. Good morning. We're having a little bit of difficulties here with the microphone. It's up and running now. Good morning. This is our live update for Wednesday, October the 4th of 2017. This is George from TRADEPRO Academy. Still here in Bulgaria. I'm going to be here through tomorrow as well, and then Friday I'm flying home. So Friday session, we'll take the day off, and we won't be day trading Friday, so we got to make our money today and tomorrow. But we are still back to business. We're still in business today and tomorrow until we fly home, and then we're back to Toronto. It's been a fun month here. We'll recap it on my first day back. I'll tell you guys what I enjoyed the most, share some memories and moments with you, as well as upload some YouTube clips. Let's get into it. Today, Asia, Japan's up 0.1%, Hong Kong's up 0.7%, China's still closed this week until Monday, India's up 0.6%. That's where the gains stop. In Europe, at midday, London's down 0.1%, Paris is down almost 0.5%, Frankfurt's down 0.1 percentage point as well, and futures here in the United States, Dow is currently flat, S&P 500 is down 0.1%, NASDAQ the same, crude down 0.4% to 50.22, and now currently trading slightly higher off the open to 50.33. Gold's up 0.5% to 1281.20. 10-year Treasury yield 2 basis points, down 2 basis points, rather 2.31%, as bonds get a little bit of a bid. All right, today what are we going to talk about? I'm going to talk to you about the economic calendar, as well as the new chairperson, chairwoman, or chairman of the Federal Reserve, and Janet Yellen's chances, as well as the rate hike odds for December meeting. We're going to also talk about some very important market statistics and oil's inventory number yesterday, and then we're going to roll into the live trading room, and I'm going to invite you guys to join us today. All right. So let's look at this. Today we got at 7 a.m. we had MBA mortgage applications. 8:15 we have ADP jobs report. The importance of that is this report predicts, or forecasts rather, the more important non-farm payrolls release at 8:30 in the morning on Friday. All right, so let's take a quick look at what we did in terms of today's numbers from the ADP report. I'm just going to pull it up here on my terminal, and it is the Wednesday, October the 4th. We have a few news items that we have to discuss. ADP non-farm employment change came out at 135 jobs versus an expectation of 131,000. So there's less jobs created, slightly more jobs created than the expectations, but a lot less jobs from a seasonal perspective than the previous month, where we had 228 jobs in August. In September, we only have 135. So ADP, the preliminary jobs numbers look in line with expectation, and that puts no bullish or bearish bias into the market, but puts a little bit of expectation to at least meet the hurdle on Friday's non-farm payrolls and at least get the expected number of jobs, which is 82,000. All right, that's a very small amount, but September statistics tend to be lower from a seasonal perspective. And there's 3 hurricanes. We'll see how they affected us as well from a jobs perspective Friday morning. Again, I won't be there with you, unfortunately, this Friday, but we'll recap it all the following Monday and how to trade it. All right. What else did we get this morning? This morning, we also had, this Wednesday morning, we had the ISM. Well, actually, we do have the ISM non-manufacturing PMI coming up at 10 a.m. 9:45, we have final services PMI. And then at 10:30 in the morning, we have the weekly Department of Energy, the DOE, oil inventory numbers. That's a really key trade for us on a weekly basis in the live trading room. We're going to talk about that as well. All right, so we got a little bit of data coming up. 3 p.m. we have Fed's Bullard speaking today at 3:15 p.m. Eastern, 45 minutes before the closing bell. We have Janet Yellen speaking as well. So we have some central bank talk coming into the mix as well. Speaking of central bank, it's a good time to transition to this topic. Janet Yellen today speaking at the Community Banking in the 21st Century Conference this afternoon. There's a lot of speculation as to her future and whether or not Donald Trump will nominate her for another term to act as Fed chairwoman. We know that a lot of close advisors to Donald Trump have submitted the short list, and Janet Yellen is not near the top or not one of the preferred applicants. In fact, the Treasury Secretary, Steve Mnuchin, is preferring Jeffrey Warsh as the next successor to the Fed chair spot, and he would be chairman taking over for Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen's term expires in January. She's got one more meeting where there's an expectation for a hike in interest rates before we see Trump's administration put a stamp on the Federal Reserve and elect a new chairperson. Remember, Janet Yellen was elected by Obama, and she was the first Federal Reserve chairwoman in decades to start raising or increasing interest rates after one heck of an experiment on the global economy to flood this economy with liquidity. Janet Yellen's done a lot of great things. 2 things First and foremost, she was the first to hike interest rates, and she's continued to hike them in a bullish path, or in a hawkish stance, rather. And more importantly, she's announced the balance sheet unwind, and she's going to start the process in October. All right, so it's all going to get started. It's going to get rolling, and she's going to transition it off to the next Fed chairperson. When Janet Yellen inherited it, she inherited it from Ben Bernanke, who had flooded the market with liquidity, which was an unprecedented action for any central bank at the time. So Janet Yellen is going to pass this off to the new chairperson with a shrinking balance sheet and a pretty hawkish interest rate tone and statement. All right, we expect one more rate hike in December. Currently 81.7% probability for a Federal Reserve rate hike going into that meeting. Those odds change on a daily basis, but anytime that it's been over 70%, the Federal Reserve has hiked. All right, this hawkish expectation tends to be bad for equities and very bullish for the US dollar. So if you're a currency trader, look to buy dollars, look to sell cross currencies against dollar strength in the next couple of weeks leading to the December, next couple of months even, leading to the December announcement on December 13th of 2017. Interest rate probabilities, they're going to help you a lot with the US dollar strength. Who are some of the other candidates up for nomination? Jerome Powell is in current nomination. He's a Fed governor at the moment. All right. There's a lot of speculation. There's a website that actually bets on these odds, and it's pretty comical. Jeffrey Gundlach, the head of Double Line Capital, has said that Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis President Neil Kashkari will get the job. So Kashkari is a dove. The dove is a Federal Reserve who believes interest rates should be lower. There should be more liquidity and more stimulus into the market for longer. And if Kashkari gets the nomination, then you could see a dovish Fed start to form, or a little bit more of a dovish discussion. The market will take that as bullish. The US dollar will drop. We're going to do a lot more analysis on this as we get closer to the election, but right now, that's what traders are seeming to balance out, the odds of who's going to get nominated. Jeffrey Gundlach dropping that bomb on the market today in a conference was very interesting. It's kind of shaking things up. So far, Kevin Warsh is at the top of the list, and then we have right after that Jerome Powell on the Fed. He's the governor of the Federal Reserve. All right, so that's interesting. Keep watching for that. There's a little bit more talk in the market on these statistics. Let me give you guys some market statistics now that I'm talking about statistics. Who are the big players? In any given market, at any given time, you have to understand as a trader, who are you going up against? To find them phenomenal, you guys. All right, according to a study here by BlackRock, less than 18% of the 68 trillion world stock market is owned by index tracking investors. These are passive investors who pay low cost for investment and just hold for the long term. All right, less than 18%, less than 1/5. Passive investing plays less of a role in equity markets than previously assumed. This is what the study concluded. And stocks and mutual funds and institutional accounts total about a quarter of the global equity market cap. So 1/5 is the passive buy and hold investors. 1/4 is the mutual funds and hedge funds or the professionally managed money. And this was mind-boggling to me. The remaining 57% of assets are held by governments, pension funds, insurers, and corporations. So you know what the professional money is. You know where the smart money is. More than 50% of these assets are held by these type of institutions, governments, pension funds, and insurers or corporations. So now that you know this information, start to look at market data, market statistics, and ask yourself, how will it impact these players? And then you'll know where the market will go, how it will move, and what effect it'll have. So there you go. I flipped it. Based on these statistics from BlackRock, we flipped the market on its head. Forget about the retails. Forget about the mutual funds. They're a small percentage of the markets. The majority is bigger institutional money. Government, endowment, pension, insurers, big money. Think about it from that term, and you'll do fine. That big money continues to buy and continues to add to their long positions, continues to drive the market higher. Let's finish it off on this. A week ago, we had some inventory for oil, so now we're switching to oil prices, currently 50.40 and higher. So since we started the broadcast, up about 7 cents off that open price of 50.38. The API private data came out yesterday at 4:35 p.m. Eastern time, and what it showed was a draw of oil inventory. So crude stockpiles were drawn on. That means there was more consumption than supply put in the market. That's bullish crude oil. However, and that's the big but, all right, It's not just about crude oil. One of the numbers that really weighed on the price of crude oil was gasoline. Yesterday, gasoline came out at plus 4.2 million barrels versus an expectation of 1.5 million. Big build in gasoline is very bearish for crude oil as well. So crude oil was a big draw. Gasoline was a massive build, and that put it at a bit of a volatility level as prices fought overnight. Today, we're going to see at 10:30 what the Department of Energy states. Remember this, it's now 2 weekly draws of crude oil inventory and 2 weekly consecutive increases of gasoline inventory. That's what you got to watch for today. Traders don't care about the number that's released in relation to what's expected. Traders care about the number that's released in relation to what they have priced in. Right now, they're pricing in another draw rather in crude and build in gasoline. If we get a reversal of that sentiment, watch for crude to pump or dump by upwards of $1 in today's session. Big moves on the horizon this morning. Join our trading room. We're going to be trading it together. I'm very excited for this trade. This has the ability to make my entire weekly income in a matter of half an hour to 45 minutes. I'm stoked. I hope you are too. Sign up for a trading room. You don't get a free trial. Sign up for the trading room. Be one of our Day Trader Pro package subscribers. And if you get the bundle, you get the options education as well. Get a proprietary level institutional trader training and a live trading room together. We do this as a group. Nothing's worse than trading in the living room by yourself. All right. Get behind some people, get inside of a group and a community that does this professionally. Give yourself a chance to succeed. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Hope you enjoyed today's morning market. We got some other data at 10 a.m. that's pretty big, and then we have the crude oil at 10:30. Got some decent data points today. Trading room subscribers, let's have a look at some of our levels and identify our first trades and best trades for the day. And let's see tomorrow at 9 a.m. for another morning market update. And I hope to see you, more importantly, in our trading room. Take care.